Learning art as a beginner can feel kind of like opening up a floodgate, right? You start out innocently enough by YouTube searching for how to draw a portrait or something, and there you are a few hours later wading through tutorials and conflicting advice and other artists' perfect drawings. You haven't even put pen to paper yet, and you're already exhausted. The overwhelm is real for beginner artists. There's just so much to learn, especially if you're not even sure what you want to draw or paint yet, or if you maybe want to become a well-rounded artist. And there's no clear starting point or curriculum to follow. You're just thrown in the deep end and have to find your own way to shore. The more I think about this, the more I see it as almost a kind of ambition trap. Because in the past, it's always seemed like the more passionate and ambitious I've been in my art studies, the more overwhelmed I would feel. I just cared too much. I tried too hard. I planned my art practice like some kind of military drill sergeant, and as a result, I took all the fun out of my art practice. Who would have thought? There is actually such a thing as caring too much in art. Not just in your study and practice, but in the actual art making as well. The more I care about how a drawing or painting turns out, the more I tense up, and the more critical I become, and the more likely I am to mess it up. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And the harder I tried to perfect my practice routine, to cram my head full of tips and tricks, and to binge watch tutorials, to overthink every pencil stroke, the less fun my art practice felt, and the more tempted I was to quit. It's when I let go and take a breath and don't care about how it turns out, when I stop trying so hard, that's when art feels the most fun and playful and addictive. And that's usually where most of my best paintings and drawings come from as well. It's a shame, though, how difficult it is to stop caring about something that we actually do care about. That's a topic for another video. But let's talk about what you can do right now to combat this feeling of overwhelm and frustration you feel as a beginner artist. I'm going to give you a very concrete strategy. It's the strategy that turned everything around for me. So here's what I have learned the hard way about learning art over the past 6 years or so. You don't need more information. You need more quality practice time. Art is about the physical practice. It's not about the information gathering. Is theory helpful when learning art? Absolutely. I'm not discounting that. But there is a time and a place for that theory. As a complete beginner, you can safely ignore 80% of the advice you find online because a lot of it is either not relevant to your goals or it's not relevant for where you are at right now in your practice. It's too much too soon. The way I see it, you have two main priorities as a beginner artist. The first one is to just enjoy your art practice enough to want to keep going, because it's only by keeping it going that you'll actually get anywhere with it. You've only failed in the past because you've quit. And the artists you see around you that are impressive and successful, they're impressive and successful because they haven't quit, not because they have some God-given talent, okay? These artists you look up to, they haven't poked and prodded and punished themselves to get to where they are now. They got there because they love what they're doing and they kept going long enough to build the skill and the confidence and the reputation that you see now. Allow me to get a little bit ranty. If you just don't enjoy the process of drawing or painting and all you care about is presenting a beautiful finished artwork to the world, there's AI tools for that. Go ahead and join the masses in generating a bunch of empty, soulless art with skills you haven't earned or worked hard for. And see what that gets you. See how that makes you feel. Art is nothing without a living, breathing, caring, hardworking human being behind it. And making art is pointless if you don't enjoy the process of it. You can get attention and praise and earn an income in so many other much easier ways. So if you don't enjoy drawing or painting just for the sake of it, don't bother. There is no shame in that. I really wish that I could enjoy the process of writing fiction. I've tried doing that many times. I envy authors. I envy being able to do what they do, but I've just had to face the facts that I don't enjoy the process of writing fiction. So I've given myself permission to not do that. I don't have to excel at everything just because I like the idea of it. And what the entire world is getting wrong right now about the arts in the era of AI is that art is just about the finished product, and that no one cares about how it was made and by whom, and that cheating your way to a piece of impressive art is somehow the same as producing it with your own hard-earned skills. It's not. And I think that one day, soon in the near future, the world will realize that, and maybe we can get back to valuing human creative output the way we have in the past, and valuing the experience of making art and building a creative skill. All right, rant over. Let's get back to the video. I am assuming you are here because you actually do enjoy the process of making art, or at least you want to enjoy it, but you constantly get in the way of your own enjoyment of it. You don't know how to cope with the overwhelm and frustration and self-criticism and boredom. So how do you enjoy an art practice enough to keep going? For me, it meant finding the subjects and the mediums that I really loved. And I tried a whole bunch of different things before I settled into birds and watercolor. For you, it might be portraits or landscapes, or it might be oils or pastels or colored pencils. You discover it by just trying a little bit of everything and then gradually leaning more and more into the stuff that you like best and ignoring everything else. And the more you zero in on just one particular thing, the less overwhelmed you will feel. Whenever you find yourself bored in your art practice, question what you're doing. It's probably not because there's something wrong with you or because you're not doing it right. It could just be that this particular thing is not your thing. You're not excited enough about it. Maybe you do it just because you think you should, but that's not a good enough reason to make art. It'll only last for so long until you're just too bored to keep going. Life is too short to create things you're not excited about. So just put it aside and do something you are excited about. There is so much to try in art that you will never have to be bored in your entire lifetime. Art becomes fun when you follow your bliss and your inspiration and your obsessions. Your second priority as a beginner artist is to get as many hours of practice time as you can, to build up your observational skills and your hand-eye coordination, to start filling up sketchbooks, to actually do this thing and not just fantasize about it or read about it or watch videos about it. You learn art by making art. There's no substitute for this. There are no shortcuts. But, and you might have experienced this in the past, if you only practice and never learn any new skills or techniques, never address your weaknesses and learn from your mistakes, you likely won't see much improvement, and that will discourage you. So you need both practice and study. But overstudying can lead to overwhelm, which leads to exhaustion and potentially quitting. So how do you balance the need for practice time with the need to learn and study as a beginner? My simple mantra for this is practice first, study later. The practice comes first. That's when you relax and have fun, do your daily sketches, and discover where you're messing up and what you might need to work on. After a drawing or painting session, I always spend a few minutes analyzing what went right and what went wrong. Some days everything goes wrong in my art practice. In the past, I used to get really frustrated and discouraged by those days. I would rage quit on my art. Nowadays, I almost get a little bit excited when I'm struggling because that means it's very clear for me what I need to study and work on to get past the issue. There's always a solution. When I've messed up my background washes in my watercolors 10 times in a row, I get pissed off, like in a good way. That's when I go online and I look for tutorials on how to do a damn background wash, and I look at other artists doing background washes, and then I try those techniques out. So I practice to discover my weaknesses. I study to problem solve those weaknesses, and then I practice again to apply what I've learned. This way I keep my practice in the forefront where it belongs, while also getting the information I need when I need it. And this keeps my practice deliberate and exciting and forward moving. Don't binge watch tutorials or courses. Don't preemptively solve problems you haven't discovered yet. Study when you need to and immediately apply what you've learned. Keep your practice simple, not complicated. It took me years to get to the point where sitting down with my sketchbook felt straightforward and pleasurable and non-overwhelming, non-boring. That's the practice that finally let me stick with my art practice and radically improve my art. And I teach that exact framework in my signature drawing course for beginner artists. You won't find any boring drills or convoluted wireframe techniques or anatomy studies in there. It's just 4 basic techniques that will take you 80% of the way towards being able to draw anything you see accurately and artistically. And I show you not just what to practice, but how to practice in order to stay motivated and improving quickly and just enjoying the hell out of your art practice. So if that sounds like what you need right now, there is a link to it in the description. Here's the TLDR of this video. Your ambition can be your greatest enemy when learning art because it can easily lead to overwhelm, crippling self-criticism, and burnout. And to avoid this, lean into the type of art you're truly excited about and ignore everything else. Simplify your practice rather than complicate it. Practice more than you study, and study when you need to, and with the purpose of solving a specific problem you're having in your art practice. Make your art practice feel pleasurable and relaxing and like an exciting game you want to get good at. And you'll never want to quit. All right, that's it for today. I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.